Alright everybody, welcome to Paramecia, a One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapter and have a different One Piece related discussion every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And today we're going to be talking about chapter 884, Who? Such a lust for revenge, who?
Gets me every time, like what a name for a chapter.
Yeah. I guess we'll start off talking about the cover story because I was actually surprised at how much I like the cover story this week.
Before we get into that, I want to digress a little bit. I want to, on the air, talk about what should our theme be. Podcasts usually have like opening and closing themes and whatever, that kind of cute shit. What should our theme be?
Oh shit. I have not thought about this before.
Yup.
Yeah, oh shit.
It's a hard one.
Damn.
I have a very short list of things that I kind of mean kind of seriously, and so very short list.
All right, lay it on me.
Number 1, Orinoco Flow by Enya.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
No. It's related. Like, sail away. Like,
come sail away. Come sail away.
No, that's another option.
Is
good pitching. Good, like, yeah.
Oh god.
Second, In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
What? That's a left field. That's a left field.
Yes, it is. But I'd be damned if that drum break isn't good.
Yeah.
1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies. I don't really have a reason. It's
yes, man.
that's basically my reason.
Oh my god, that's fucking great.
And the last one is I'm a Believer by Smash Mouth.
See, all right. Hear me out. I'm digging the Bare Naked Ladies. It's been, but what if we remix it? if we remix the lyrics over like Frankie's theme.
I mean, it's doable. We can do it.
Oh god, we could do it, and that's what's scaring me.
Has science gone too far? Yes, definitely.
Yes, it has.
So back to the cover story. Now that we're done with this trash fire.
Yeah, now that we're done with this trash fire bit, which will inevitably lead to next week. There will be some kind of theme.
You never know, man. You never know. So yeah, the text placed above the image is that they tried to capture them, but then we found out that this was just part of the 1,000-year long leg and long arm conflict, and that's just quite a package.
Yeah, that's. I mean, quite a bombshell for Oda to drop on like on a cover story. But I mean, he's done it before. But like, so we know, like, you know, I in the Colosseum, we know Blue Gilly and Ideo kind of went back and forth, but we didn't really they didn't really, you know, truly explain why. Like, you know, we just knew that they kind of went back and forth, and then, you know, over the events of Dressrosa, they became friends and stuff. But it's cool to see this, like, to see them find a ship of long leg and long arm, like, tribe members, and they're just, like, in constant conflict. And that the conflict that they're in is, like, 1,000-year long. Like,
yeah, I'm really into that. Because it's this, like, weird dynamic just about the world, like, some simple world building, but, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. And that's ridiculous to me because I'm pretty sure that means their conflict predates the Void Century. I'm pretty sure.
What an observation. I think it does.
Yeah, which is that's the part that got me because when I read 1,000 Year, I'm like, wait a minute, like alright, like, if this predates the Void Century, then this might actually become important later on down the line.
What if they're the only ones that have the history behind the Void Century? What it? I don't even want to get into
God,
this.
no.
Like, no.
No,
This
we
for
gotta
the
stay
end,
away
this for
from
the
we gotta stay away from the theory black hole.
Oh, Jesus. To continue with the chapter, it opens up with the boy Katakuri getting clocked. And oh my god. What a beautiful image.
Yeah, that final, the bottom panel where he gets, he gets decked with a Kong gun. like that, that brought me so much joy. And man, I don't know, seeing him break through like the mirror world, like Luffy's taking it to him the entire beginning of this chapter, and I was really digging it because he talked about his like revelation, which I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but part of me is kind of like, oh, like, was that it? I thought it was going to be something else, but I mean, it still makes sense.
Yeah, like what we were talking about last week wasn't like necessarily far-fetched, and we weren't entirely wrong. It's just that like what his observation hockey is like something that we didn't necessarily like fully consider, in that like what Luffy reveals is that like he was using his observation hockey to displace his body using his mochi powers instead of him like acting like some crazy like Logia fruit user.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely part of Katakuri's strength as a fighter against everybody else that he's fought, because like up until this point, nobody other than, we can assume, people in like, some of like the other commanders and Big Mom know how his power works.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Capone knew that he could see into the future, but he didn't know like the extent that he took his mochi fruit. He probably had no idea that his fruit was awakened, and to see Luffy see through that and then like call him out on it, I thought was like pretty telling of how this fight's going right now.
Yeah, it was a very nice kind of like insight into exactly how powerful the other members of the Charlotte family might be.
Yeah, definitely.
And how little intel you can like actually get on them.
Yeah, I agree with that. It took it took Luffy like fighting Cracker for 11 hours to get the best of him. So it's like the fact that he survived this long against the number one general of the Charlotte family, like, that says something.
The next thing that happens is the crazy oh my god, I loved this so much. The Rhino Schneider, he just fucking drop kicked him.
The part that got me about this, like when he hits him with the Rhino Schneider, I'm like, yo, damn, like, Katakuri got bodied. But when we see his head like bounce on the floor, like his head, like,
he got zonked,
dude. Yeah, like, man, like seeing his head just fucking like ragdoll like that was wild to me.
He died.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like this Katakuri fight, the way it's ramping up, I feel like this is Oda's way of telling us, like, the reader, like, don't discount any of these fighters just yet, like, because they keep both surprising us. Like, Katakuri was ridiculous, but Luffy's actually holding his own and damaging. Like, by the end of this chapter, like, Katakuri's bleeding. Like, Katakuri's like, he got hit with like 7 different Gear 4 attacks, and he's like actually bleeding. So it's like, Luffy can actually win this, but it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, because before, a couple of chapters ago, we were looking at this as if it was going to be some kind of dead end fight that like Luffy had to escape. There was no beating Katakuri. Like, we also like kind of like got into it a little bit and just got like, oh wow, there's no way he's gonna get out of this. Like, we just have to see what Deus Ex Machina happens. But no, that's not what's happening at all, and I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm so happy that it didn't turn out like that. Like, I mean, it's still there's still a slim chance it could, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think the way it's going, it's very clear that there's going to be a winner and a loser. And as much as people might want to be like, oh, like Luffy's not strong enough to take, like, I feel like Luffy's gonna win. I don't know how. I couldn't tell anybody. You know, I can't even predict how. The only thing is maybe there's another form of Gear Fourth.
Yeah. Like I said before, I doubt it. We got Tank Man this arc, and we probably won't see another form till Wano.
Yeah. I feel like he could take out. I mean, look, he's already taken the fight to Katakuri with Bound Man alone. The only thing I can say that's maybe a tell that we might get another form of Gear Fourth is just the way this fight ends in this, the way he leaves off the fight in this chapter, where you know, Luffy's going in for another Rhino Schneider, and then Katakuri summons his stand, his mochi stand, his wicked weave.
God, it's so good.
That attack was so sick. Like, when he brought out the donuts initially, I was like, all right, like, what the hell's, you know, what's gonna happen? And when I see them,
I thought it was cute.
Yeah. I thought maybe he was gonna like throw them and like try to capture Luffy with them. But when I see them transform into like arms, and he's controlling them like a goddamn JoJo's character, like.
Do you remember in like Dragon Ball Z after the whole like Majin saga, or like was it during the Majin saga? I think so. When like Gotenks did like the fucking donut thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what I assumed was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I thought he was gonna try to like ensnare Luffy in one of the donuts, but man, it turned out way cooler than that.
Boy, were we wrong, and was it good?
Yeah, goddamn, he takes it to Luffy. He hits him direct hit in the chest, and he smashes Luffy against the wall, and then he says, "I will give you no more chances. Guess you're back to square one, huh?" And I know I watched a couple of videos, like chapter reviews from YouTubers I watch, and some of them were getting mad at this line, saying that like they felt that him saying this kind of means like the fight's gonna start over again, like, oh, like we're both back to square one, like now the fight starts again. I completely disagree. I feel like this is Katakuri, like this is Oda's way of telling us, like, man, like Katakuri's getting cocky right now, like here comes Luffy's power up. Like, here comes, like, another form, or here comes Luffy's, like, you know, final attack. Like, that's what I read it as. I read it as this is Katakuri basically telling the viewer, like, hey, like, Luffy's gonna beat my ass when he comes at me next time.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, like, what it is Luffy is back on the defensive. He is thrown off the offensive and everything, but it's not square one. Luffy knows Katakuri's gimmicks right now. Luffy knows how to win this. He just has to get to it. And something I was like thinking about with the whole revelation of how he's been like manipulating his body in order to like avoid attacks and everything is that like all the times this has happened, it's been like precision attacks, like things that generally don't take up more than the size of his body kind of things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But since that's the only thing that's been hitting him, or that we've seen hit him or attempt to hit him, the one thing that I can assume based on that will actually be able to harm him and damage him would be basically, for lack of a better term, an AoE attack. Where, like, where's he gonna run? If Sabo came in, like, cashed in Money in the Bank, came in with the fire fruit and just started, like, dousing everything with napalm, like, how's Katakuri gonna get out of that?
Yeah.
You can't just, like, I'm gonna put a hole in my body. No, you can't, bitch. It's everywhere.
Yeah, yes.
So, that, I feel like, could be his downfall.
Yeah. To piggyback, I feel like that Luffy, okay, so if Luffy uses a form of Gear Fourth Gatling, which I don't think we've seen. We've seen the organ, the Kong organ.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've seen like a Gear Fourth Gatling. So if he does some kind of gear forth Gatling, like you said, I completely agree. Like, I don't think, even if Katakuri can see the future and he can move his body, if it covers all of his escape routes, I don't see how he can. Like, I that's game over. I don't see how he's getting out of that unscathed. You know?
He would spread himself too thin or anything. Like, I feel like that's an option, or I feel like it's unlikely, but some kind of shit like an elephant gun or something, like
Oh yeah, if he
your
does
fourth
the
capacity.
yeah, if he hits him with like what he hit Doflamingo with the King Kong cannon, the giant one.
Yeah. Like, how's he gonna escape?
Yeah. That's all right. All right, I can get behind that. I feel like yeah, at this point in the fight, I feel like Luffy's gonna pull it out. It's just a matter of how. But I didn't even think about this like the AOE type thought process. Like he can dodge, but if it's all around you, there's no way to dodge.
Exactly. Like, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Next thing to consider is that most of the chapter was the fight, but what didn't involve the fight was still most likely ridiculously important.
Yeah. So right after we leave Katakuri and Luffy's fight in the mirror world, we check back into Cacao Island, and the first thing we see is we see freaking Pound like knocking at the door of the sweets factory, like demanding he be let in because he saw Chiffon, and he's like, oh, like I know my baby's face anywhere, like I just want to talk to her for a bit. And man, I don't know, I would have thought it was just a gag. Like, okay, when they passed Pound going to Cacao Island, when they were on the magic carpet and Pound saw them on his ship, that I thought was maybe just like, you know, a little gag, a little gag here and there. That's what I thought it was. But after talking after seeing him talk this chapter, and like he's still there and he's persisting, and then seeing Chiffon and all the chefs talking about it in the castle, they're like, do you hear something? Like, somebody's pretty noisy outside. Like, I think it's pretty apparent that he's gonna play some kind of important role, more important than we thought previously in this arc.
Which is pretty wild, because, like, I definitely would have never considered it. Like, the moment I saw him, I was just like, oh, okay, he's just some, like, throwaway kind of character, just, like, in order to, like, put into our minds how Big Mom functions, in that she marries someone, fucks them, gets, like, some big-headed kids, and then dips them. Like,
Yeah,
that's how she functions, and I thought that's how the concept was being introduced through Pound.
Yeah.
But seeing him here, like, why the fuck is he here? I want to know now.
Yeah, seeing him here kind of made me think of the same thing. Like, why is he here? I guess, you know, I don't really have much information, and I don't have enough to dive too deep into it. But a theory I have is that so he has to be there. He's there because he wants to talk to Chiffon, and I feel like somehow, some way, towards the end of this arc, he's going to not. I think he's gonna meet up with Chiffon, Sanji, and Pudding, and I think that we might get some sort of revelation as to where Lola is or what Lola's doing.
That would be nice,
because yeah, Chiffon and Sanji don't know where Lola is, but Pudding has been the closest to Big Mom other than the commander, the Sweet Commanders, and she has the power to conveniently wipe memories. And Big Mom has shown throughout this entire arc that her information network is crazy, and she can find anybody on Earth anywhere. So it's kind of crazy to me that she can't find Lola, or that she needs to, like, she was grilling Nami, like, to tell her where Lola was. And I feel like, I mean, that's really the only thing I have to go off of, but I feel like Pudding knows where Lola is, or at least general whereabouts.
Yeah, especially considering how Pudding reveres Lola, in that Lola used to be the head of Cacao Island, and then, like, oh, Pudding, Lola left because she's a fucking asshole. You can be the leader of Cacao Island. And she was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That seat is for Lola. I'm not gonna take that from her. So based off that whole interaction, and that whole expectancy of loving Lola that much, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, she knows what's up.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like she kind of has to know something about Lola more than we know as the viewer, and that's just gonna be really cool because I ever since we got like it was always a popular theory going into New World. Like when we found out about Big Mom, everybody was like, the popular theory became, who is Big Mom's children? Like who could be a child of Big Mom? And Lola was definitely one of them, and everybody was kind of like, well, the Vivre card has not come into play yet. And getting the reveal at the beginning of this arc, like when we finally, like, Oda confirmed it that Lola was Big Mom's child, like I feel like that brought Lola's character back into the reader's minds, and now it's like, all right, like it's been 2 years, like where is she now? Like what is she doing?
Since you brought it up, another thing that I like kind of want to talk about a little bit, since it relates, is there was always the theory that Lola was related to Big Mom. But there was also a theory that I don't think it was as popular, but that Jewelry Bonnie is related to Big Mom.
Yeah, I have heard that before. I've heard a lot of people talk about that theory. I'm kind of torn on it. I used to believe it because I was like, all right, like she's a glutton, she eats a lot, like it fits the theme of the Charlotte family and Whole Cake Island, like loving food and stuff. But
that and the lipstick that she wears was another like connection. But...
yeah. I don't know. That one's definitely a crazy theory, but there's been a couple of more theories about Bonnie that have come out that I won't say I'm like fully subscribed to them, but it's definitely put me back into a place where I don't know what to think about Bonnie anymore. Like,
I want her back. She was such a good supernova.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, Wano. I still feel that Wano is gonna be where all the supernovas like meet.
How great that would be.
Yeah. It's gonna be nuts. So getting back to the chapter, the basically after we see Pound, it just cuts into the factory where they're cooking, and they're all dead set on cooking, and then Brûlé comes over the Den Mushi, and she doesn't know that Sanji's there, obviously. She doesn't know of what Pudding's doing. Like, she doesn't know Pudding's real plan, so she basically gives away all the information to Sanji. Like, she tells them, like, oh, like, we lost sight of the ship, but they're going to Cacao Island. That's where they arranged the rendezvous. And then she just tells him, like, oh, like, there's no way he'll beat Brother Katakuri. She's boasting for Katakuri. Like, there's no way. Like, in 9 hours, Straw Hat will show up, or the rest of the Straw Hats will show up, and their captain will be dead, and Mama's gonna come at the same time, like off of Nut Island. And I really like so they introduce Oven, but I want to skip over Oven real quick because there's a line from Sanji that I really enjoy.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Oven appears and he starts like beating the shit out of Pound because Oven's an asshole, and the Pudding comes up to Sanji and she's like worried, like, Sanji, like, Luffy's in trouble. Were you listening? He's fighting one-on-one with Katakuri. Like, that man isn't human. He's got a billion berry bounty. He's never lost to anyone. And Sanji has the greatest, like, he looks at Pudding in the coolest way possible, and he's like, I guess today will be his first loss. Let's focus on the cake. And I was like, damn, like, Sanji is back.
That line destroyed Pudding. Yeah. She was just oof.
Yeah.
I really love that because this whole arc started with like animosity between Sanji and Luffy, and Sanji being like, trying to help, don't you see, kind of like shit or whatever, but like,
yeah, trying to push them away.
Yeah.
In trying to push them away because he believed he was like no good.
But this is showing such a deep trust. I love it so much.
Yeah, it was such a great moment, and I feel like it's again, it's Oda telling the viewer like Sanji's back, guys. Like Sanji, he was going through this stuff, but he's back, and he's like, he has more resolve than ever now. Like,
he's back and better than ever.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so Oven, we'll go back to Oven for a bit, because he appears in front of the factory, and he's talking about, well, he wants to go inside, and then everybody tells him, like, no, Lady Pudding said no one's allowed in there. And then he just agrees because he doesn't know. Again, none of the Charlotte family knows what's going on. Like, they're taking the massive hidden L because they don't know that Pudding's, like, betraying them or helping. Not betraying them, I guess, but they don't know that she's helping the Straw Hats. But then, yeah, he just starts beating the shit out of Pound. And then he's just being an asshole. And I kind of wanted to ask you, like, do you think Sanji's gonna fight? Do you think Sanji's gonna fight Oven? Because I feel that's what's being set up. Because remember, the original plan was that they were gonna bake the cake, and they were gonna set sail and finish it on the boat. So if they try to set sail and they try to leave, like, Oven's there now, so he's going to see them. So
yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say yes, and here is my reasoning. His name's Oven. His power is heating up and, like, heat transfer, etc., etc. He has oven mitts on. That's not really a point. I just really wanted to point that out.
I didn't realize until right now that he does.
And the whole thing, like, so he heats stuff up, whatever. Sanji has the whole, God, what's the name? When his foot's on fire.
Diable Jambe.
Exactly. He has that whole shtick going on. I feel like the duel is, like, set up very well. Just right there. With those two concepts, I feel like that's pretty decent writing in, like, Oda just going, like, alright, they'll go at it because both of them are hot. Whatever. Like,
yeah.
It sounds like very trivial reasoning, but little things like that
Dude.
in, like, such a wide and expansive world is cherry on top.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Oda's done this before with Luffy and Katakuri. Like they're fighting, exactly. And the only reason their shit hit, like, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons that their fight was so hyped up was because they had, like, similar powers. Like, their powers were, you know, they're the mirror match, and it's like, I hope that, I want to say that Sanji's gonna fight Oven. I don't know. Yeah, there's too many things going on Cacao Island, or that are going to happen on Cacao Island, that it kind of gets hard for me to kind of place what's going to happen or how things are going to play out, because, well, remember, so they're on Cacao Island right now with Oven. Brule, or Mont d'Or, told Germa that they're going to meet at Cacao Island, so Germa's on their way.
Fucking idiot. Oh my god.
And then Capone is coming back for his wife. So he's going to Cacao Island. So, and then Luffy, you know, obviously, his whole plan was that he was going to jump out of the Mirror World on Cacao Island to meet up, so he could beat Nami and Jinbei and them to Cacao Island. So it's like, you know, Sanji's going to get a fight, but for me, it's like, all right, like, is Sanji going to get, like, a tag team match with Luffy? Or is he going to get a tag team match with Capone? Or is he going to get a tag team match with Germa? Because it could play out either one of those ways.
It's such a, I wouldn't say hectic situation, like, because we just don't have the context, and this is, like, a sense of mystery in that, like, we, the readers, desperately want to know, and we're confused, but we're not lost.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that it's, like, bad or anything. But the way I see this whole situation play out is they finish the cake, they try to set sail, Oven's like, yo, what the fuck? Sanji's like, alright, I got this, cracks his ankles because he doesn't, like, use his hands. And then he, like, starts fighting Oven and whatever, starts, like, holding him off. Not necessarily, like, fight to the death kind of thing. But what happens is that, like, I feel that Germa 66 would come in as they're fighting, and then it's just a fucking crazy ass match, like all of Germa versus their army, and, like, against Oven and shit. And I would love so much to see that. While I could imagine Capone, like, handling the whole like escape route with Pudding and Chiffon.
Yeah, I can see Capone doing that. I can see him being in charge of like, I can see him when he gets there, like putting himself in charge of getting the cake to Big Mom.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
protecting the boat with the cake on it, protecting his wife and Pudding, and just like nothing gets past him, nothing hits the cake. Like they have to get out of here, and that's their way out. Is sedating
He's the
Big
castle
Mom.
wall.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Like,
I wrote One Piece.
yeah.
I know this.
My name is Ichiro Oda.
Speaking of calls that we've made,
Dude,
the end of this chapter.
I just want to give ourselves a round of applause real quick because, like, yeah, it was like, there was clues and it was telegraphed, but man, I didn't think it would happen quite like this, and I'm so happy.
The best Charlotte daughter.
Objectively the best.
Praline. Objectively, yeah, no doubt about it. Sitting there, singing and shit. Just getting all the sea slugs around. Kind of in the same way that, like, so in Fishman Island, this ability was not hinted at, it was shown to some degree. And, Shirahoshi was shown to have this ability to the craziest level that she could do it with, like, the fucking
yeah,
crazy
well,
sea
yeah,
beasts.
well, that's because she was the ancient weapon. But yeah,
Yeah.
the fishmen are able to talk to. They're able to talk to like fish, like real fish. Because Jinbei, I forget when it was. It was during Fishman Island, I believe, or like one of the cover stories. But he can talk to whale sharks. So like every time we've
Yeah.
seen Jinbei or like the Sun Pirates, you always see whale sharks somewhere around there because they can just like they can communicate with the whale sharks.
Like, all I'm really hoping for to come out of this is when the anime episode comes out. I
Oh,
need that
dude.
song. I need that on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
brainstem installed. I need this to be some hype shit. Like, I'm running on a high. Like, I have an IV plugged straight into my iPod playing Jump Up Superstar constantly. Shout out to Mario Odyssey. I really want that right now. So that's what the song is giving me sustenance. It's such a good song.
Yeah.
I want this song to be
be
just as hype.
I want this song to be that song.
Exactly. I want Praline to just, like, pump out a fucking bop.
Yeah, yeah. I would love nothing more than for Praline to fucking bust out like a Carly Rae Jepsen emotion,
Oh my god, I was about to, like, yell the saxophone notes, like, at the beginning of, like, Run Away With Me,
oh
but
my god.
I feel like my neighbors don't like me enough as is, so I'll
Hey.
just, like, I'll, like, in post, I'll, like, put it in, like, it'll be the meme from now on. Whenever we mention Carly Rae Jepsen, blessed be her name, I'll just put, like, the first few notes of it, just like right there.
Just put it in every time if it's ever mentioned. Just put it in very faintly in the background.
Damn, I was thinking like hard cut, but that's a better idea.
No, but yeah. So I don't want to brag and be like, we called it, but we fucking called it, dude.
Call that shit.
We
like,
called
get the
this.
Fuck out of here.
Man, it's so great. Like seeing Tamago and Montdor and Peckham's like their reaction, like because I forget the Charlotte daughter's name that comes up and tells them. It's one of the weird ones with like the weird mouth or something. It was one of the ones that we just got introduced to, and to be quite honest, isn't important. But
there's too many of them. Like, how are we gonna keep up?
Yeah. I've seen a couple of people on Twitter as a quick digression. I've seen some people talk about like they're getting mad that we're getting introduced to so many new Charlotte members, like this late in the arc. And my reaction to that is one, like she has her entire pirate crew is her family, like her children. So it's outrageous to me to think that like we wouldn't constantly see more and more of her children. And two, like just because we're getting introduced to them doesn't mean they're important. Like the twins that were in the mirror world with the long necks, like they don't matter. Like
they're just there to have long necks. That's
yeah,
it.
they were there to look funny and to be part of a goof. Like they were like that's all it was.
The only one like daughter I don't remember that is probably important is one of the daughters has a Maytol, like a named sword, and I feel like she's the only other one that would be important. Like after Wano, when they come back,
It was
looking to actually fight Zoro versus her.
wasn't it
gonna happen.
wasn't it Smoothie? I thought it was Smoothie.
Was it? Isn't Smoothie the one with like? I think
Smoothie's
she's a long leg.
yeah, Smoothie's the long leg and she's the other commander.
No. I'm not talking about Smoothie. I'm talking about the one with like the huge hat.
Yes. I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name.
And who does? But that's the thing. Like, there's like too many of them. She fucked too many people. She doesn't even remember. I guarantee you, like, Big Mom does not remember at least like 5 of her children's names.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that she remembers all of her kids' names. Come on. Yeah, so I tried to search what her name was. Is it this one? No. I have no idea. Anyway, whatever. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she does have a named sword. I think it's going to be pretty sick to see her, hopefully, going forward, kind of have a fight with one of the swordsmen that we know.
It's gotta be Zoro. Because, like,
yeah.
Zoro has been in the back line. We haven't seen him unleash his like Byakugan, Sharingan, whatever's under his fucking cut eyelid. We haven't seen whatever that is, if there's even anything.
We
to,
haven't
like,
we
talk
haven't
about
even
there.
seen his Sharingan yet. Edo Tensei.
Christ. But like he's been on the back burner. Like Luffy's got Gear Force. Like Sanji has had this entire arc has just been Sanji trying to flex and actually flexing hard. Like if someone doesn't appreciate that, fuck them.
Yeah, this entire arc has been Sanji, like, flexing, and I think might be the best way. Because, like, we saw Luffy flex when he shows Gear Forth, and we're like, damn, like, that's sick. And, like, you know, Zoro is always, he's always flexing inadvertently or on purpose. Like, he's just a cool character. But it's like, Sanji has had some, like, yeah, he hasn't had any, like, power-up moments yet this arc. But, like, man, he has had, like, I don't know, for people to dismiss like all the hype moments that Zoro or Sanji has actually had this arc is like ridiculous to me. Like, if you didn't get hype when he was standing on the table with like the cigarette, like just staring at Germa, like he saved Germa's ass and they didn't care about him, and he's just like, yeah, like I just did this, and he breaks their cuffs and he's like, get the hell out of my sight. Oh, that was hype, like,
dude. Not to get into crack theories like earlier than we should, but Dark Horse, he does get a power up. He does fight Oven. He does get a power up. That power up. Are you ready for this?
I don't know if I'm ready for this. Go shoot, fire away, Captain.
That power up is the power of love.
Oh my god. Like,
if
see,
Oda had to do that, now is the time.
Yeah, see, like you're pulling my leg, but you're also not pulling my leg because he has pudding there, and I feel like we haven't gotten like, well, of course we haven't gotten full closure to, you know, Sanji and Pudding. Like, we understand how Pudding feels, but she hasn't come forward with how she feels.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, the more I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's a crack theory. I think that might be Sanji's power up. Like, I think she might like actually like come out to Sanji and like tell him like everything, and then Sanji's like something might happen to her. Like she might tell Sanji like, you know, everything how she feels, and then the Big Mom, whoever's there, the Big Mom family member might be like, oh, like, Pudding, you're a traitor, you're betraying us. And I think that's when, like, they might try to, like, hit Pudding. And I think, I think that's when he's gonna be like, nah. Like, nah.
Sanji's gonna go like, what's the thing now with Dragon Ball Super Ultra Instinct?
Yeah, Ultra Instinct. Yeah, he's gonna go Ultra Instinct against like all the Big Mom family members.
Dude, now that I said that, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. Because I
really
feel like
want this.
it's inevitable. Like something's gonna happen with that relationship. Like it has to move forward. Not only for the story, but I mean for people. Because I remember a while ago when the whole pudding gimmick started. Like the whole like when the whole pudding gag started about her having like bipolar. Like she keeps switching back and forth. People were getting like heated about that. Like
unnecessarily,
they were getting like annoyed and they're like, all right, like enough pudding, I'm tired of her. And I'm like, guys, like if you don't I can see how it's annoying like week to week, but at the same time,
it's a good gag.
Yeah, it's a good gag, and you have to look at it in the big picture. Like her doing this is because of her indecisiveness about Sanji and what to do about her family. Like she's torn between these two forces, and I feel like when she makes that choice, I feel like it's going to be Sanji, and when she does that, I feel like that's going to be Sanji's like the power boost he needs.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, because I've always been saying it. I'm so excited to welcome Pudding as the newest member of the Straw Hat Pirates.
Dude, I want it so bad. Like everybody wants Carrot. And I'm just look
furry.
Yeah. We'll just hop into this as our discussion for the week because
we're already like running like
late.
Wow,
we've already pretty just gone into the discussion, but yeah, no, like just I guess as a real quick note, everybody wants Carrot to join the Straw Hats, and I just don't think that theory has any legs. Like because everybody's still thinking, she's gonna get the if you subscribe to the theory that what's her face's Snowfruit is on the Thousand Sunny or the Going Merry. If it's all the way back on the Going Merry, no. If you subscribe to that theory that Monet's fruit is on the Thousand Sunny, then a lot of those same people who subscribe to that theory believe that Carrot's going to join simply to get that fruit because of Carrot's a bunny and the ability with snow bunnies, like it fits. And it's like I can see that. Like if it is on the ship, somebody's gonna get it. I don't know who, but the other thing I've heard is Carrot has nowhere else to go. Like she has nowhere else to go, and I'm like like did we read the same series? Like are we reading the same series? Because last I checked, after they got Sanji, they're all meeting up at Wano. So the Straw Hats, the Heart Pirates, and the Mink tribe, like the entirety of Zoe and the Minks, and the what's left of the Whitebeard Pirates are all meeting on Zoe. So it's like she has nowhere to go, not counting the entire Mink tribe that she's grown up with is going to be in Wano. Like what?
Like I really don't get the whole like I really do like her as a character, and when things were looking dark for Pudding to be like the 10th Straw Hat member, I did also think like it could be Carrot, it could work out like that. But I don't know, man. I feel like her tour de force is gonna end at Wano with everyone else, because like I feel like she's building up to be like Pedro, but you know how like Pedro was young when he first like went into Big Mom's territory, like did some shit. He was a fucking coward, quote unquote, and everything, and like Carrot is seeing some shit. She just saw her like mentor fucking blow up.
Yeah.
So like she's got some shit to sort out herself. She's got to like power up mentally, physically, whatever, before that could even be a possibility. I feel, at least.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I feel like Pudding is, like you said, she's really young, and this is like her first ever time off of Zoe. Like the first time she's ever left Zunisha, and I feel like because of that, like, she's a powerful fighter, but she's still young. She has a lot to learn, and even with how strong the Minks are, I don't think that because she's so young and she still has a lot to learn. Like, even all the Mink soldiers said, like, oh, like, she's a really powerful soldier, but Pedro said, like, oh, she's still young, like, she has a lot to learn. I don't think Oda would throw like something like that onto the Straw Hats, like, because that just creates a situation where if they're in a fight, like, they can all rely on each other. Like, right now, all the Straw Hats, including Jinbei, like, they can all rely on each other and they can all hold their own. Yeah. But it's like, if you throw Carrot into that with how young she is and how everybody has stated that she still has, like, a lot to learn, she's really young, I feel like that just creates another, like, oh, like, now instead of just worrying about this fight, we also have to worry about, like,
babysitting.
Yeah, we have to worry about babysitting Carrot, making sure she doesn't explode.
I feel like a counterpoint, like people that would be arguing against us, saying like, oh, well, it would be the same thing with Pudding. I would argue, no, it wouldn't be, because, like, the way Pudding was brought up is that she was basically fighting against the entire Charlotte family herself her entire life. Yeah. Just to survive, because she was bullied about having a third eye, of all things. And so, like, I feel like what would potentially happen if she got into a fight, she would turn into the whole, like, evil Pudding again. And, like, she fucking tried to shoot Sanji, like, cold blood. She was ready to do it, no problem.
Yeah.
She's probably shot people before.
No, she has in the flashback. Or, well, she didn't shoot somebody, but she stabbed somebody. Like, she stabbed one of her younger brothers or something like that. Like, some kid on the island. He was like, she stabbed me.
Exactly. So, like, she can hold her own. Like, she's not, like, super buff, powerful, or some kind of shit, but, like, she's got a gun.
Yeah. No, she definitely has.
And she's conniving.
Yeah. And her power is just so good. Like, the other thing I feel is that there was in SBS or some interview with Oda where he stated, like, the next two Straw Hats are going to join one after another. I think I've brought this up before.
Yeah.
The quote was that the next two Straw Hats are going to join one after another, and one of them is going to be a former foe, like a former enemy. And Jinbei has never been an enemy to the Straw Hats, like, ever.
The people were thinking that the only way he would qualify as an enemy is that he used to be a Shichibukai.
Yeah, I could see that, but, like, I can see that point, but I personally don't agree with that point. Yeah. But that just leaves the second. So because of that, like, Jinbei's already joined now, so that means the speculation is who's the second person that fits the criteria of former enemy. And I mean, this entire arc, the only two people I could think of, because if he said they're joining one after another, I want to believe that they're going to join in the same arc.
Yeah.
And because we know that Jinbei joined, Jinbei is part of the Straw Hats, like, I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. So now that Jinbei has joined, I feel like the only two people in my head that fit the criteria as we've gone through this entire arc were Pudding and Caesar Clown. Because Caesar Clown, like as much of a stupid wildcard pick it is, like, Caesar Clown was with them. He actually, like, fought with Sanji and Nami and Brook and all them, like, multiple times on Zou and stuff. Like, he's helped them out a lot, like, a lot more than anyone knows. And yeah, he, like, they hate him because he, like, he, like, experimented on kids and stuff, but, like, I don't know, he is a former enemy, and it's like, and he does kind of have that he has that kind of buddy relationship with them, because, like, I don't know, in Capone's castle, when they were going over the plan to take out Big Mom, like, a while back, when he was like Gastino, like, they were all memeing on him, like, dude, like, like, dude, we know you're Caesar Clown. He's like, nah, I'm Gastino, and it was just a funny exchange. But it's like, if he does join, I think it's less likely that he joins, and it's way more likely that Pudding joins. But
oh yeah.
Just, to make the point, those are the only two characters right now that I could see fitting that criteria of former enemy joining the Straw Hats.
I mean, maybe you could make the case for Peckham's, but I don't know.
Early on, maybe the case could have been made for Peckham's, but I feel like as the arc's gone on, especially his interaction with the fishmen. Like when the fishmen saved him after Capone betrayed Big Mom, like he was raring. He was like, "Oh, like they betrayed Mama. Like I'm gonna kill them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like then he's really not gonna like what Luffy's about to do. Like,
Yeah. It's pudding. Final answer. That's it.
yeah, putting final answer, and then Praline is part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah. Not even the Sun Pirates. They can. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah. Aladdin's gotta earn his keep, but Praline, you in, girl. Like, so that is gonna wrap it us. Fuck. Cut that out. Cut it in post. Cut it in post. Cut it in post.
No.
Oh shit! You're gonna leave it in. You're gonna roast me.
You know.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god!
leave it in.
I already know. All right, guys. So that is gonna wrap it us. Fuck. This is alright. Seriously, cut this shit out. I gotta fucking like. Hold on. That is
one time is okay. Another time, not so much.
It is going to. Okay. Alright, I think I got it. Alright, guys, that is going to be the end of Paramecia this week. Once again, Oda pulling out these bangers. We are not on break next week. I think this might be the longest streak we've had without a break. So, we will be back next week discussing chapter 885. This week's crack theory is as follows.
Praline is gonna take a page out of Tsunade's book from Naruto, and she's going to control the sea slugs and turn them into Katsuyu.
That's all I got.
I mean, that just the crossover is enough. I feel.
Yeah. The
That'll
crossover
do it for
itself.
us this week.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Time to raid.
Yeah. Time to raid in Destiny 2, baby.